Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Raven's Readings. Here are two more of my own stories. I do like writing to a variety of challenges and have done over 100 of these stories so far. You can read them via my website at ravensview.ca. I'll be doing these on Fridays and some of the classics on Tuesdays. The prompt for the first one was to include the words cummerbund, hobbit, and frenetic. A wedding tale. "How do I look?" asked the wolf, adjusting his cummerbund. "Lovely," said the witch. "Just try to act less of a wolf at the wedding, especially with the elven bridesmaids. They are all daughters of Galadriel, so show some respect. But with hobbits on the groom's side, they may want other options," he said. The witch shook her head. "Romulus, don't be naughty. I know some of our people are not convinced yet, but these mixed marriages can work. Frodo and Landria will not be that unusual. Just be nice and smile without showing too many of your teeth." When they arrived at the church, they had to push themselves past a group of protesters, all jostling with a line of guards and chanting with a frenetic zeal. The crowd shoved their signs at them, signs filled with biblical quotes and warnings about how all this was an unnatural union leading to the end of marriage and the collapse of civilization. "What's with these guys protesting, Agnes?" said the wolf. "Humans can't see our true forms unless it's in a story or a dream." "That's a good thing," she said, or they see that the guards are all orcs. No, I just did a quick spell, and what upsets them is that in their eyes, they see the marriage partners as two men, one short and swarthy, and another tall and slim." "Ouch," said Romulus. "That must piss the lovely bride off even more. Want me to go over and thump some heads?" "Let me go and talk to them first," she said, and when talking and logic fails, I can maybe nudge them with a spell." "I'll come for backup," said Romulus. "I'll behave, honest." As they got closer, Agnes saw a familiar face in the front. A tall, blonde woman, long hair coiled up, short shorts, and a skimpy halter top battling her curves, waving and yelling to the crowd through a megaphone. The woman stopped when she saw the witch approaching. "Rapunzel, what are you doing here?" said Agnes. "Oh, and are those yours again?" She pointed to a double stroller next to the blonde. "Oh, please, Agnes, just Ray," said her friend. And yes, they are mine, twins, 8 months old, and the father's taken off already. Another jerk of a boyfriend. Luckily, I have lots of sisters, always eager to accept all my kids, but my life sucks. It's just not fair. I was supposed to marry a prince, and all I end up with are jerks." "Oh, Ray," said the witch, "I know your character in the stories, at least the earlier versions, has a sad tale to follow. Hair let down, prince climbs the tower, you fall in love with the prince, he gets you pregnant, twins in fact, and then he leaves. But your life between the stories doesn't have to follow that path. Seems you're either pushing strollers of kids around and whining about your life or hanging on the arm of some tall, dark, and handsome loser." "Hi, sweetie," said Romulus. "Hey, Romulus," she replied. "Well, you're looking good." "Rome, tone down your charm," said the witch, and Ray, focus, and stop acting like a little princess all the time. Your prince will come, but who knows, he might just be a regular person. Just be a little more patient and a little more selective than all these bad boys, charming but shallow." "Hey, we're not all bad," said the wolf. "And why are you here with all these people?" said the witch. "Frodo and Landria are folk and do deserve happiness with each other. Let me guess, you're upset because they get to marry and you don't. Is that it?" Well, maybe a little bit," said Rapunzel, "but I do like Frodo and Landria, but here they are getting married in spite of their differences, and I'm still a loser." "You're not a loser," said Romulus. "You've got a lot going for you." He raised his hands. "Just not for me, sorry. But who's this crowd of weirdos?" "I met them last month," Ray said, "in a women's group I joined. They started talking about men and marriages and how traditions seemed to be disappearing, and I added my ideas, and before I knew it, they were all following me, yelling and waving signs." "Well, don't forget that's part of our power," said the witch. "We add life and reality to stories, and we can be very persuasive. You really should be more careful with that." I guess so," said Ray. "But their arguments seem pretty strong. They really believe they are on the right. You're a religious person, Agnes. Can you see where they're coming from? I do take my religion seriously, said Agnes, but I use it as part of my life, as a part of my values. I believe in morality, which is doing right regardless of what I'm told, not a religion, which is doing what I am told regardless of what is right. Whoa, said Ray, that's heavy. Well, a bit, I guess, said Agnes. But does it make sense to you? At least enough to stop pumping these people up? I guess I could tone things down, said Ray. Some of them are getting kind of tiresome anyway, but they're really cranked up by now. I know. There's a new condo proposed a few blocks away on a former convent site. I'm sure I could leave them there and leave them to focus on it instead. Do that, said Agnes. Then drop by the wedding reception after. I'm sure I can find some nicer boys there for you to meet. The end. Poor Rapunzel. Will she ever find her prince? For the second story, a would-be detective gets thrown into a mystery, and this is fairy tale folk again. Fairy tale Felon. I didn't take your drugs either, said Red. Well, you all keep saying that, said the witch, but yet you were all at my place last night when they were taken. Red, Snow White, Romulus, so unfortunately one of you did. Maybe you took them yourself, said the wolf. Oh, come on, Romulus, said Red. Why would Agnes do that? I didn't, said Agnes. But just to keep this neutral, I've asked Barney to look into it as an outside party. I'm pretty sure he's in the clear, as he has a hard time even fitting into my place, and his dinosaur ancestry seems to neutralize any drugs he takes. I do seem immune, said Barney, and she's tried different remedies and potions on me for the various ailments I've had, but nothing has any effect on my prehistoric metabolism, but I think I can help you guys figure this out. I'm not as dumb as I look. And my dino nose is even better than yours, Romulus, so I did some sniffing around. Last night's visitors to the witch's place were just you, Red, and Snow. Agnes was out. So, out clubbing again, Grandma? Snow asked, smirking at the witch. Easy now. She was with me, said Barney. We went over to the coffee shop from about 9 to 11 to work on some scripts for stories. Her workshop looked okay when we left. When we got back at 12, Agnes went in and freaked. Her place was a mess. I checked through the window. Did you figure out what was missing? Asked Red. She was able to narrow it down to a few things, said Barney. I forget the long names for them, but it was two types of things, really. One group was various uppers, energy potions like amphetamines, and the others were libido enhancers. Say what? Said Snow. Sex drugs, said Agnes, to get you worked up and in the mood, physically and mentally. Not that you'd need any help for that. Hey, said Snow, lay off. You've been on my case ever since that catfight story we did. I can't help it if you were cast as the old cougar perched on a bar stool and I was the sexy babe. You look pretty good, Agnes, considering, said the wolf. But little Snow looked pretty hot, projecting as that skanky little thing on the bar stool. Hey, said Snow. Okay, calm down, said Barney. Agnes, as senior member here, meaning experienced, you need to set a good example. Snow, you're new, and I know have been having some problems adjusting to the changes. It's been a strain not doing the old tales anymore, said Snow, and then having to adapt ourselves to all the roles we get in the new ones, and in between, all we seem to do is just sit around. I used to give her some potions, said Agnes, but I got tough and cut her back. Figured it was time she sucked it up. Don't worry about me, said Snow. I'm tough. You still seem stressed out, though, said Red, and jittery as all hell. I thought you were still on those potions. Nope, said Snow. I'm clean, just nerves. Well, said Red, you just about drove me crazy trying to keep up with you at the karaoke bar. I wondered where you ladies went last night, said Romulus. When were you at the bar? Asked Barney. We went down after supper, said Red, hung out together for a while, and then we got separated. I ran into some old friends that insisted on buying shooters. Too many, too fast. I think I left around 10. I'm not sure, I was pretty sleepy by then. I just fell right into bed when I got back here to my room at the witch's. How about you, Snow? Said Barney. Not sure. I got bored and guess I left earlier. I was too tired to walk all the way home, so I texted Rapunzel I wasn't coming, and I just crashed here on the way, just on the couch. So did either of you see each other when you got back here? Barney said. Red and Snow shook their heads. Great, said Barney. Okay, how about you, Romulus? I was home all night, said the wolf, in my place out back. I did a webinar from 9 to 11 on dating and social networking, and nice source of extra revenue for me to help pay off the bills. Over 500 signed up to watch. I can give you a list if you want. I'd like that, said Barney. Anyway, said the wolf, I don't need any uppers or sex drugs. I'm doing just fine on my own. Well, you do understand these all have a high street value, said Barney, so someone could have taken them just to fence them. Just saying. Wasn't me, said the wolf. Okay, said Barney. Oh, one more thing. Was your session interactive? No, said the wolf. I mean, some people sent in questions before, but for the show they just sat and watched. Flows better that way. Now you, Red, said Barney. Why would you need any drugs? The wolf chuckled and Red glared at him. We had an incident a while ago, said the witch. Sorry, Red, he needs to know. And it was all a misunderstanding, really. Red was feeling in a rut for the past few hundred years, so came to me for a potion to sort of enhance Wolf's interest in her. Like a love potion, said Snow. Sort of, said the witch. Unfortunately, she used too much, and he was more than a little interested. He was all over me. It was just too weird, said Red. You weren't actually pushing me away, said Romulus. Red, you little devil, said Snow. Who knew? But why would you want any of that now? You've got Bruce, you're a nice woodcutter. Oh, now I do, said Red, but not back then, though. Barney looked around the room. And now we have Snow. Why pick on me, she said. Agnes huffed. Because you tend to look like a junkie and act like a junkie. Barney reached out a purple arm and snagged Snow as she charged at Agnes. Whoa, calm down, he said. Nobody's being accused, yet. Here, sit next to me. He looked at the crowd. I'm fairly new here, too, he said, and didn't have too many years of my old stories to let go of, but it was still stressful. When I arrived, it was the woodsman, the witch, the wolf, and Red Riding Hood. You were a close group, and you did your best to make me welcome. You're part of our family now, said the witch. And what about Snow, said Barney. I know Red took to her. Romulus was pleasant too, though he's likely nice to anything in a skirt. Hey, said the wolf. Just teasing you, old man, said Barney. But Snow needs help more than I did. Not just drugs, but some understanding and counseling. Things you are good at, Agnes, yet you've had a grudge on since she arrived. To me, it looks like a bit of jealousy that she's a pretty young thing like you used to be. Am I getting close? Agnes nodded. And now the distasteful news, said Barney, is something that shouldn't have happened, and I hope will never happen again. He looked at Agnes and held on to Snow's arm. I've also got some very keen hearing, said Barney, and after Agnes went in, before she called out, I thought I heard some noises from her workshop, and I'd forgotten about them at the time, but now they make sense. It was you, Agnes, trashing your own place. Red and Romulus gasped while Snow tried to leap at Agnes. You witch, you set me up, she cried. Geez, Agnes, said the wolf, what's gotten into you? I thought you were our friend. I am, said Agnes. Oh, believe me, I'm so sorry. Barney was right. I've been a stupid and jealous old woman. Please, Snow, this is not like me. Can you forgive me? Oh, never, you hag, said Snow. I can't say I blame her, said Red. I thought we had a nice happy family here and could trust each other. I think we do, said Barney, and I hope we can get over this. Friends care for each other, even if they do something stupid. He gave Snow a gentle hug. These are good people, he said, and Agnes is, believe it or not, a nice person. So, never? Well, give me some time, she said. The end. Oh, poor Snow. I hope there's some forgiveness in her, and Some mellowing of Agnes, too. Stay tuned for more podcasts, either my own stories on Fridays or some of the classics on Tuesdays. If you subscribe to my newsletter, you'll get the next installment as soon as it's ready. If you enjoy this reading or have other stories you'd like to hear, leave me a comment. And do check out my other posts on my Substack at ravensview.substack.com. Ta-ta for now.